What's up, man? It's your boy Willie Lynch Jr., man. I'm back, man. And just rapping with y'all. Part 2, telling y'all who I am. You know what I'm saying? Last thing I think I finished with was, look at somebody over here. Just nosy. Take your ass to sleep. Tell them who you are. What's your name? Oh, get your ass back. Hey, this ain't about you. It's about me. Okay. Yeah, man. I was telling y'all, college. I won a couple competitions when I went to Parkland College in Champaign. My freshman year, I was supposed to went to U of I, but I messed up. So I ended up going to the community college in Champaign. Started doing comedy there. Won a couple open mics, competitions, a couple talent shows. Get your ass. And that's kind of got my little name. Back then they used to call myself Tommy Hilfiger because that's what they called me in high school. And but I went through a real bad bout of depression. Started in 2003, like that summer. And at the time I got ready to transfer to Fisk in Nashville, and I had like a minor stroke. And bro, you talking about the worst anxiety attacks, social, panic attacks, all type of shit, man. So my comedy career was like over with. It never really had started because I never did the shit seriously. And then got down to Fisk. I was fighting depression for about 2.5, almost 3 years. I was taking medication, taking Zoloft, I was suicidal and all that type of shit, man. So for almost about 2.5 years, I wasn't doing comedy. But one of the guys who ended up helping me out, saved me on the way, boy JJ, he passed maybe 2005 in August. Mind you, going through a bout of depression, which was clinically, it was clinical depression. It was chemically induced because somebody laced my weed. One day we was at Fisk in the auditorium, and this dude was on stage who I didn't care for. He was hosting this event, and I'm going through my depression. But this time somebody gave me some weed, so I was high. I was myself, so I was like a fucking fool, and I'm just joning this nigga, and I'm killing him. So my partner turned around, he got tears coming out his eyes, man. He's like, "Nigga, you need to do comedy." That's when I told you he ended up passing away. So he'll be proud of me right now because I'm off drugs. And hey, be quiet. I'm off drugs and I'm doing comedy professionally now. But so to fast forward that, I got over my depression. I finally beat it. And 2005, that fall, I came back to school. Everybody knew I was different. They used to call me St. Louis when I went to Fisk. Everybody knew I was different because I was silly, I was outgoing, I wasn't quiet and shit. I was just silly all the time. So I hosted this little talent show. And I was funny and shit. So niggas was like, damn, this nigga funny for real. So in February of the following year of 2006, my senior year at Fisk, they wanted me to do this comedy show in the auditorium. If you look on YouTube, type in my real name, just type in East St. Louis Comedy Show, you'll see me at Fisk doing stand-up really for the first time in some years. And it was funny, but if you ain't gonna really get it because I was talking about some local shit. I was all over the place. I ain't had my set wasn't tight, but you could just tell that I had something. And so that was '06. So about a year and a half later, one of my frat brothers, we was at this bachelor party, and I said something real gay, but it was funny. I was trying to be funny. And so one of my older frat brothers was like, "Hey man, ignore that nigga, he a comedian." So the other brother was like, "You do comedy?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I do my own comedy shows once a month at the Rhythm Kitchen." And now that club is actually a comedy club called Jazz and Jokes. So he's like, "You want to get down?" I was like, "Yeah." So I was all excited and shit, but I was too scared to really go through with it. I was lazy. I didn't think I was going to do well. So I ended up doing it. He asked my name on the flyer, sent a picture to him and all that shit. And that's when I used the name Willie Lynch. And it was, the first show was November 17th at Fisk in the Alberton room. And I was funny. So I did my thing. They put me last because I was a student there and all that shit. So I think the other cats really didn't like that, but they put me last, and I did cool. So the next night they put me first. We was at this club called The Place. It was like on 2nd Avenue in Nashville, and I went up. I actually kind of did well. And one of my homies named B. Cub, he was like, "Bro, for you really to never have done this seriously, you got a lot of stage presence, man." You know what I'm saying? So I never knew what that meant. He was like, "You're a lot further along than a lot of other comics." So I kind of took that and ran with it. I used to, study under him and Renegade and Renard Hirsch down in Nashville. So I was doing comedy. I did a show '07. I did one, I think, in January. Did one in February and March was the last time I did one. So then I just kind of quit, so I was trying to focus on school, and I was just lazy. And then I think that summer or that spring, I met Don D.C. Curry, and I kept telling this girl I was talking to, I was like, I'm gonna do comedy for real. I'm gonna do comedy. I'm gonna do comedy. I met him at Zany's down there, and I was like, I'm gonna, really try to stick with this. I'm gonna pay for these classes and all that shit, but I ended up not doing it. And it wasn't until I graduated school in May of 2009, I ended up moving back home to East St. Louis. And at this time, everybody on Facebook, because at first Facebook used to be strictly for college kids. Then they started letting anybody on it. So I would be on Facebook putting up silly ass statuses, writing jokes. And so my partners was like, damn, Aunt, when you gonna come over? Go over to St. Louis at Laughs on the Land, that was the name of the club at the time. It eventually became House of Comedy. And when you gonna go over there and start doing some stand-up, we're gonna see you perform. And I was like, I'm gonna be over there soon, but I was lying because I really wasn't no comedian for real. I didn't have no jokes, and I was scared to do it. So, show how scared I was. My mama paid for me to go to the University of it was SIU, Southern Illinois, Evansville, and I took a course called Intellectual History of Europe. And mind you, I'd already finished college, I had my master's degree by then, but I was intellectually starving. And I was trying to figure out something. I was trying to find something to do besides stand up. I was too scared to really try it. Because initially, when I graduated from Fisk in 2006, my plan was to take a year off, go to barber school, and try to do comedy. Stop. And my mom wouldn't let me, so I ended up going to grad school. So I finally went over there. My homegirl Tanisha. What the hell wrong with you? Somebody always wants some goddamn attention. I got these tickets. Go to the comedy, House of Comedy in St. Louis. I'm like, cool, let's go. So we went over there, and I saw Deion Cole, and I'm watching. Deion had the mohawk. I remember Deion from when I was a freshman in college. I saw him at the University of Illinois, him and Leon Rogers, and I was like, damn, this dude funny as shit. He had the mohawk, he had tattoos and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was funny that he had said something on stage like, I just did the Conan O'Brien show. He's happened to be the first black writer on the show. And he's like, man, everything's gonna take off for him. And of course you believe, you don't know no better. And he ended up blowing up after that. So the next week, I remember I went to go see Paul Mooney with my best friend Sean Brown. And then I'm watching Paul, I'm like, man, I gotta do this shit, dog. Because I saw Deion, I said, I gotta do this. So then I remember asking, the day I saw Deion, I remember asking, this big security guard said, man, what I gotta do to perform up here? I'm a comedian. He said, go holler at old boy. So I went and hollered at this dude named Diesel, who ended up being the manager. He said, go holler at this other dude named, Princeton. Princeton was one of the little comics, whatever. He used to host up there all the time. He's like, hey, just come up here on a Wednesday night. If you're funny, we're gonna put you up on a Wednesday for the open mic. If you're funny, we'll put you up on the weekend. So I remember going up there on that weekend, watching Paul Mooney, and I think I went to the club that Wednesday. I performed in front of like 10 people. I was like, man, you funny, just keep coming up here. I promised my mom, because she didn't think I was taking shit serious. Because she told me I was too scared to really try this shit. So I was like, I promise, I'm going to keep going every week. So this is the end of August 2009. And we're going to leave off right there, and I'm going to come back after I whoop this little boy's ass. I told him to get out the goddamn camera. You finna get your ass whooped, you know that, right? Ooh, sticky mouth motherfucker. Hey, hold tight, y'all.